right, thanks for watching. So real quick, Merkabah Scholar Society members, make sure you guys check the ad for the update for the latest videos. And I'll see you guys in the next video. But yeah, I want to get right into this video. So a lot of people are talking about the Constitution, talking about 14th Amendment and everything that's happening with Trump and the illegals. As I talked about this stuff before. But, you know, when we talk about the Constitution, when we talk about what's happening with history and what happened to all the laws and the statutes and the codes and everything we basically governed by, you got to understand, especially as it pertains to Black people, it doesn't really pertain to us. So we're talking about getting benefits and privileges or what have you, and we're forgetting what actually happened here. So I get everything's supposed to be about the Constitution, right? Everything's supposed to be about, Articles of Confederation, the Constitution, the amendments, everything that's supposed to govern us and give us what we believe is our rights and privileges and benefits and what have you, right? You have to understand, again, we're talking about something that happened during a takeover. So basically, if you open up a checking account and somebody steals your card and goes on a spending spree and then you report it and the person is caught, you get your stuff back, right? There isn't no statutes or codes or what have you that will allow that person to keep what is yours, and then you somehow have to figure it out. This is basically what we're talking about. We're talking about land that was already inhabited by Black people. So when you understand the oppression and why things have been the way that it is and why they hide history so hard, it's because they cannot allow us to reveal that truth when it's already been proven 100%. Genetically, it has been proven scientifically, it's been proven that we were here and they know we were here. It's something that you're not going to see mainstream. So when we're talking about 14th Amendment and everything like that, and I talked about this before in previous videos, we have to understand the truth. If we're going to do things in truth and in fairness, as far as let's give the Native Americans tax exempt status, right? We're going to give them their land. They don't have to pay taxes because they was here first, right? In that same context, if they was given that and we can prove that we were here before them, how come Black people have not been given it? How come even the truth has not been put out mainstream when we have seen multiple, professionals, doctors, scientists? We have the forensics. We have the proof that we were here, that this is our land. How come that has never been brought to the forefront, right? So this just goes into understanding our position in politics, understanding why they don't want us to be in a position that they are in as far as having a political party that can speak towards what I'm talking about here, right? So imagine if we had a Black political party that can come and lobby for exactly this, that can come and speak to this and bring in the scientists and bring in the doctors and bring in the proof that we have to say, hey, you know what? Black people was here first. We should get the same thing as the Native Americans since we are the real Native Americans. This is why this has not been done. This is why they stopped this at all costs, because at some point, this will be brought to Congress. It will be brought to these people for them to do something about it. Now, we've been paying attention to what I've been talking about before in previous videos. I told you guys, things have to change, right? We see them trying to merge Black and white. It's been going on for a long time. You see them pushing Black and white, right? Because everything's about to change and they have to fix things. And if you're paying attention to Trump's policy, everything that's being done and put in place right now is to fix things. You guys have a unique opportunity to become multimillionaires in the next couple of years. And we talk about this in the society. This is real deal. This is what our parents did not do way back then during the dot-com bubble in the early 80s and 90s or what have you. So many things they could have invested in, but they did not believe what was possible. Everything we're seeing today shows you what's coming. There's going to be a huge change in our monetary system in the way we do business, the way we transfer money, right? And there's a buildup happening to create a better class of people to go along with this, a different status. We're talking about trillions and trillions of dollars, trillionaires, a new level of wealth that's about to happen once everything happened with stablecoin and all this stuff goes into action. And the government is sitting in a position to really make this big. They will not let the dollar fall as the world reserve currency. So they're going to change it up. And I get into this in the society much deeper. But here's the time where you have a chance to change your bloodline for all times. And paying attention to everything that's in the bill and everything that Trump's been passing, listen to what's being done. So It's not going to end welfare or whatever like that. Just have, age limits and so on and so forth. Different things that's going to help people kind of get out of their bullshit, get out their funk, and get out there and go and work and do things, right? As I said before, nobody should be on welfare for years. You shouldn't be relying on the government for years. It's keeping you stagnant. It's taking away your drive and your understanding of how the world works, and for you to go out there and make something of yourself. And that's a good thing. Some people want to be on welfare and rely on the system, and it's hurting you, right? So this is going to change. There's stuff in his bills to, if you're at a certain level tax-wise, you have to pay more taxes. And people looking at it and say, this is going to hurt the poor, this is for the rich. And there's things that's out there to make you get off your ass, because it has to be done this way. And it's going to really benefit people in the long run when you really understand. Once again, you take it with a grain of salt, and if you understand deeply where this is going, you'll get it. It'll make sense. But what I want people to understand is that, what we count on and what we're talking about as far as laws, government structures and constitutions and amendments and everything like that should not pertain to Black people, as we were here, and this is our country, and we was here for anybody. The fact that we can prove that we was on a planet before anybody, and that all these people come from us, this is a genetically proven scientific fact that they all come from us, right? So we're going to be talking about who was here first and giving people benefits and privileges or what have you based upon that, then what's going on with us. And it's one of the things that people got to understand why people scream out for unity, because this is something that we could have came together and fixed a long time ago. But because we've been so distracted and divided by so many different things, and because we don't have a Black political party to really go out there and speak for things that we need, it has not been done. We don't have any Black leaders to speak for things that we need as a people. It has not been done. Our real Black leaders have been killed. The other Black leaders that come up have been bought off, and the other ones don't get enough support to do anything about it. This is one of the reasons why we are in this position that we are in, because of this. And until we understand where we are and what has happened, nothing's going to really change. But when you're talking about the Constitution, when you're talking about amendments or what have you, and what benefits and privileges Black people should get, we should get exactly what the Native Americans got, and really more. Now, still got to look at it from a standpoint of conquest, right? I took your shit, basically. So what happened is they came in and killed us, stole our stuff, and then made a completely new system based on, laws that they made that's going to benefit them as a people and not us. So with the 14th Amendment, what happened, them basically creating a separate person for us, Black people, and us not being included with the free people that the Constitution is talking about, the original free people that the Constitution is speaking about, right? So we're not really included in that with the 14th Amendment and with the Constitution, I should say. And the 14th Amendment is kind of really hinting on that, as far as basically saying, all persons and not all sovereign persons, which is basically what it's going to be talking about, before that, all free persons or sovereign persons, which what people were before everything changed, right? So them classifying us as persons and then citizens or what have you, these are things that they made up to take our shit. And this is what you really got to understand. People talk about the Constitution as if it's this super legitimate thing, and it's not. It's a document that was made up by our conquerors, right? To basically govern their conquest. And it should not pertain to the people who originally was here. What are we doing this in? What spirit is this in? The spirit of truth? Is this in the spirit of morality? We're talking about conquest. We're talking about theft. We're talking about the people who had their language taken away from them, who was enslaved, indoctrinated, so on and so forth. And then you want us to rally behind the system that you created and you're using to control us and our shit, right? So you got to understand that. So if we're going to go into anything in truth or what have you, that has to be laid out, and that needs to be understood globally, that we are buying into this whole thing. And it's one of the things that, when people always talk about us being a violent people and so on and so forth, and we just want to get over it, we have accepted everything these people have done to us, even knowing what we know today. We accept it all, right? We accept their flag, we accept their creeds, we accept their holidays and everything. And we're not coming together as a people and saying, hey, this is what it should be, or that we should at least get what the Native Americans got. We're not saying nothing. We're just going along to get along, going along and trying to get whatever we can get out of the situation, right? So again, it's one of the reasons why they keep us from having that political party, because these are things that we can legit argue, that we can legit form around, right? And it's one of the reasons why we never seen any black unions, right? And it's unity is a big problem for them. They do not want that, because if we unite, we'll start to talk about stuff like this. We'll start to look at the structure of how this country has been built and how we built it, and we'll ask for more, and then we'll demand more. We're not realizing that we're the main ones being used to drive this whole thing. We literally drive this country. And it's one of the things that we don't realize, because we're put down so much. We don't see how high up we already are, how much they use us and need us to move forward, how our energy drives everything, right? And it's like a reverse psychology thing. You look on TV and you see the slave movies, you look on social media and see, black people being treated unfairly and racism. And it's like we're the second class, lower class citizen. Meanwhile, everybody's copying off of us. Meanwhile, everybody wants to be like us. We go back even in the 90s, 80s, 90s, big butts wasn't a thing. They hated it. It was gross or what have you. Look at it now. Look at the lips. Look at how they're changing and taking who we are. Look at the dancing, the hip hop dancing that's going on. Look at everything that we can see clearly came from the black community and black culture, and what we put out there to try to give ourselves an identity away from what they, stereotype us to be. And they're benefiting from it and we are not. So it's things you got to look at, man. And I understand, again, Constitution and so on and so forth. I was in the military, so I know. And it's just like we become patriotic, and we're patriots, and we understand the country and what that's supposed to mean and everything. But we do that in ignorance. We do that not really understanding true history and what really should be existing in truth for black people in this country. And that should be it. We should get what we deserve. We should get, at least at the minimum, what Native Americans get, and more so. And this is one of the things that's been on the forefront of the discussions for reparations. I've talked about this before, which kind of died down, but I believe it will come back up once this crypto and this money system thing changes. But as I said before, we got to pay attention to what they're trying to do and how they're trying to change the black man. They're trying to change everything in our situation, and it's being done very subtly. There's a lot out there for you guys to benefit from, a lot for you to really take in. And I can't stress this enough, how the moment is here for you to really change everything. It's never going to happen again, not in your lifetime. This moment now that's coming up, and what's about to happen with crypto, and what's about to happen with stablecoin, and everything that's about to happen with our monetary system and how it's going to change. See, a lot of people are sitting back and just waiting for World War III. And I said this before in my video. I told you guys, it's not going to be what you think it is. Everybody's talking about prophecy and getting ready for end times and so on and so forth. We know where this all comes from. But it's not going to be the war you think it is. It's not going to happen the way people think it's going to happen. That can mean so many different things. But what is definitely happening right in front of your face is the change in our monetary system. And you can kind of see where things are going to head to from then on, if you understand. So again, we talk about this in society, but there is a unique opportunity for people to benefit from this system, right? And that's what it's about. At this point, you only can benefit from it. I talked about unity and so on and so forth. And I always tell you guys, you have to become wealthy and successful on your own right, independently right now, right? Personal economics. Get yourself together first, then worry about everybody else later on. That's the name of the game. If you get yourself right, then you can get other people right. So forget about the unity, forget about all that. Once you get yourself right, it will just happen naturally. You can go and teach and actually help people out. But you have to pay attention, and it's one of the things that I try to get people to really understand is, don't get too caught up in the statutes and the codes and the Constitution and so on and so forth, or what you think they're going to give us or do or what have you. It's all bullshit anyway. All of it. It's just work on yourself and do what you can do in your life right now to benefit you moving forward. Waiting for shit to crash and waiting for Jesus to come back and all this other silly shit, forget that. You have time now. I don't care how old you is. You have time now to make it out. And here right now, and again, very unique opportunity if you're investing in crypto. This has happened before. Our parents missed the boat. You should not miss the boat. Understand what's happening and how you can benefit from this. Because if they knew, they would have invested in Microsoft back then, or even Bitcoin back, a few years ago. Bitcoin has made billionaires, right? If you have 50,000 Bitcoin by 2017, you're a billionaire today, right? So it's so many things that people are looking at, and it's like this happened in your lifetime to where You had the money to be a multimillionaire and you didn't have no clue on what to do or how to make that happen. And I told you guys, and I don't like to say this because I still kick myself, I sold my Bitcoin low, I still hold 4 coins, but still I sold way too early and I probably should have held on to it longer. But, you live and learn. But here is another opportunity to blow up by understanding and being conscious of the situation going forward, right? A lot more knowledge is out there now with stablecoin and crypto than it was before, because I didn't really know, it was new to me. I didn't really understand what it would be and where they would go and take this thing. But when you start to look, it's the only way they can take it. It's the only way it can be what we expect it to be. And when you look even deeper than that, it's the only way the dollar can stay on top if they do exactly what they get ready to do right now. So again, we get into this deeper in society, and you got to pay attention to what the government has done with Ripple and XRP, and who's really going to benefit the most from that when this whole thing comes into head. So coming up Monday, the 14th is a big date, 16th is a big date, August 1st is a big date. It's a lot happening now up until this point, and you have an opportunity to really do well if you're investing in XRP and XLM and other stocks, and stand poised and stand on top of the whole situation. But not to take away from my original point about understanding that the situation we are in is a situation of conquest, right? So don't get too caught up in constitutions. A lot of people hit me up about the constitutions and the amendments or what have you. This is stuff, again, that was put in place by people who conquered this country. And we shouldn't be super, dwelling on what type of benefits we can get from it when the whole thing is bullshit and crooked anyway, right? What we get is what we get. But beside all that, personally, on a personal level, there's things you can do to benefit yourself and not worry about what constitution or amendment is supposed to benefit Black people as a whole, because it's been in place. Where are we, right? You have a few people that's rich. You have leaders that are taken out, leaders who sell out, so on and so forth. Where are you as an individual? And that's the thing. If you get yourself right, everything else will fall in place. If a bunch of people who got their self right are there in the same room, we already know what it took for us to get here. And then that unity will happen naturally, right? We don't have to go out and push for it and have people staring at us like we're crazy. Because when you start talking about positive, conscious things to people, and everybody want to hear that shit. They don't really care. They're thinking about bills and stuff they got to pay tomorrow. People don't really care about the ancient Egyptians. They don't really care about the history that we talk about, because they don't understand how that leads up to today and why you really need to have this understanding in your psyche, this history in your psyche, because it'll make you move different and make you understand things a completely different way. So with me, you guys know the past is everything. It'll help you build your future, understanding the past and understanding where we really are today. And so many people are just confused, and people are just looking for the easy way out. So many people are just lost in their situations and having to get up and work and struggle all day for what? It's nuts. The whole system is flawed. The whole system is out of whack. But we have to live in it. And it's really nothing we can do unless you leave the country or what have you. But as long as you're here, why not dedicate your time and your effort into living the best life that you can, and to put yourself in a situation where you can do that? Who the fuck wants to get up and go to work every day? I don't understand how y'all do it. But it's just no way. I mean, you have to do it. You got to work. But it's just like, there's no way I could do that for a long, sustained period of time without any growth in other areas that's going to allow me to get out of my job situation and build wealth somewhere else. That's going to be mine, right? Not for another company or another person or so on and so forth. And you have to look forward into that. Like, where the fuck am I going to be in 5-10 years? Like, am I still going to have a job? All right, well, what am I going to do? And everybody's too busy worried about the now and not thinking about where the fuck you're going to be in 10 years. And that if you start something now and you put your time and effort into it, in 10 years, you're not going to have those problems. Whereas other people in 10 years are going to be like, damn, I should have. Or I wish I would have listened, right? So again, it's one of the reasons why I set up personal economics, one of the reasons why I set up the Amazon Shopify course, and how what's coming with the coming crypto and stablecoin changes and implementations and all the regulations, what have you, how that's really going to benefit everybody that's in drop shipping or have online business or doing anything or any type of e-commerce. You're going to benefit greatly from this. So this video is mainly for the people that's been hitting me up and saying, well, they can't do this, they can't do that. Well, the Constitution says, well, this amendment says this. It's all bullshit. It's stuff they created and made up for land that they stole and took. If you're a thief and you stole and took something and you made laws to put in place to benefit you, why would we think they would do anything, to benefit the people where they took it from? Right? We're getting privileges. We're getting little shit that we get that's going to benefit them. It's like people are not seeing the big picture. That's why hip hop exists. That's why they allow it to exist and allow it to control and destroy the Black community, because they know it's going to keep us lost in that culture. Us thinking it's us, and we're not going to go out and speak on what I'm talking about or understand what I'm talking about here in this video to know that, hey, one, personal economics, and two, damn, if we did unite or get leaders in place to at least get us a Black political party so we can go and talk about this, it's one of the biggest reasons. How come everybody else has it, right? Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Asians, everybody, the Arabs here, everybody in this country, in America, has a political group that is lobbying for the benefit of their people, except for Black people. We are put under white folks, and we're under them. But what's happening is a breadcrumb effect that we're getting from them biting their big sandwiches and we getting the crumbs. It's like we have to accept what they're eating and take the crumbs from it. And we're thinking because they're setting up the table that we're going to have a seat at the table or we're going to eat at that same table. We're not. It's a fool's thought to think that. We haven't seen that. We don't have anybody to lobby for us and to go out there and say, this is what should be done to help the Black community. Yes, we have Black politicians. We have Jesse Jackson, right? We have people who have not done nothing for us as a whole, right? And we have not seen that. We have never seen it. And everybody sitting up here want to follow rappers and follow these people who are getting paid to lead us astray and think that they're going to be the voice of the Black community and do stuff for us to benefit us as a whole. It has never been done. It's not going to be done. There is no political setup. If we're going to play in their system, then you got to play by their rules. And we're not even doing that. We're not even in the game, right? We have nothing. We don't have a piece on the board. And that's having that political party. We don't have that. So that's what this is really about. So we talk about statutes and codes that's not even real laws or what have you, and the Constitution and amendments and everything like that. It's all bullshit, man. It's all bullshit. It's like, why would we even go by that? It is what it is what you got to go by. Whatever they say goes, because what are we going to do? There's nothing you can do. So all you can do is understand this and thrive in their system and use it to benefit you as an individual and then go from there. If people join you, if it's people you can help, so be it. If not, then you're on your own, but sometimes it's the best way for you to get where you need to be. So yeah, I wanted to touch on that real quick because of questions that people had posed to me. So updates on books or what have you, I'm going to be making that announcement real soon. Basically, the case is over. I basically won. I'm just waiting for it to be documented and official so I can move forward. So as I said, when I put that video out, books will be released. I will be shipping books. There will be new books for sale. I'm also going to have a series of adult coloring books. Yes. So it's going to be called Coloring Conscious. Coloring Conscious is basically going to be adult coloring books that I have already set up in the works that it's going to basically, a lot of people are into it. We do adult coloring books for therapy, but this is going to be a little bit different to where you get information while you're coloring. And it's going to look a lot different from what's out there. It's something that I had in the works before, but I didn't have time to get it out because of what happened with this court situation. But it's going to be, of course, conscious themes, Egyptian stuff, all kinds of conscious people that you probably never heard of, but you'll get that information as well as the picture, the color, as well as, information on what types of colors to use for certain things. So when I talked about the Phoenicians and Tyrian purple dye, what purple you should use to color certain things, with the Morax shell or what have you. Also understanding, certain colors that was used by the Egyptians to color certain things. So it's going to give you kind of like a mock-up of all that when you guys pay attention to the book. But that's coming out as well as a bunch of other stuff that is going to be in the works or for the book release and the new book release. Some other little things. We'll get into all that. But yeah, again, I appreciate the patience on that, but it's going to be a lot to look forward to coming forward. Scholar Society members, make sure you guys are checking the calendar, check the app. New videos are going to be popping up. As I said, I want to wait till Monday to see what's going to happen with this whole thing with ISO 20022, the whole implementation of this and how it's going to change and what's really going to happen if certain people are going to be jumping on this. We should see a surge with XRP from this, and we should see a lot more people adopt this whole thing. Again, society members, you got to see that video a lot more in depth and what we talk about there. So there's a lot more to that. A lot of people don't understand, and a lot of people don't know and don't see right now. Because there's a lot going on. It's a lot of chaos, but you guys got to pay attention and understand what's taking place. It's a lot that's happening that a lot of people are not realizing because you're too busy bickering about Trump and racism and presidency. It's all bullshit. There's an agenda out there. It's right in front of your face. If you look at what he's saying and what the man is doing, it's clear as day what's about to happen and how things are about to change. Now, on the surface, when you look at it, it's like, well, damn, if you really look deeper, all this stuff is really going to be beneficial down the line. It's going to be a pain in the ass right now, but down the line, it's going to be a lot more beneficial for people. It's going to kind of force people to get off their ass and do things. Now, is it going to stay like that? You know, what's the end game in all this? There's more to it. There's something sneaky, something sinister, or what is it? Because right now, it's looking like this dude is putting everything and doing everything he needs to do to keep the dollar in power and keep America in power where we are and to keep us on top. And if you understand history, you understand what the powers that be are about, who they really are, it doesn't seem likely that that's the case. So what is it? What's going on when things surely look this way? How is it going to change? Because things really look good when you pay attention. Now, you're going to look at it with untrained eyes and say, well, shit, World War III about to come, the economy is falling, prices are up, so on and so forth. And you don't understand how that benefits an economy, how that's really going to help what they're trying to do, if you understand a lot to it. If you're an investor, then you can benefit from this. If you're investing, if you understand what these markets are about or where you need to be putting your money, you're going to benefit from this. Now, if not, if you're just a regular person, you're going to work and you're working 9 to 5, you are the people that they are using to get all this done. It's just that simple. This is what conscious means, man. Being conscious and understand what's going on and benefiting from it. It's not that many of us left. I mean, I can count on one hand the people that's on social media right now that's giving y'all real shit. Everybody else is piggybacking. Everybody else is putting out shit that I talked about a decade ago. They're just now putting it out. And people are just putting out content to create more content to make more money. They don't really care what's going to benefit you later on. They just care about the views and care about who's engaging what. Plain and simple. And I've been doing this for a long time. I've putting out enough information for years to show you where I'm at with all this. And like I said, it's a lot more to it. And things are not going to go the way we think it is. So you need to understand what way it's going to go and how you can benefit from it. Because if not, I mean, it's going to be a big problem down the line. So again, make sure you're in the right situation and you're coming out on the right side of all this. At the end of the day, it's up to you guys to really, you know, as adults, as grown people, to make the right decisions for you and your family. And, you know, you're already doing good by watching my videos. So yeah, that helps. But thanks for taking the time to watch. I'll see you guys next video. Scholars, I'll see you guys in the next meeting. Peace.